Hello and welcome to the practical walkthrough. In this lesson we are going to build this multi-command rat which we have designed in the previous lesson. So let's get started. Open up your Visual Studio 2019 and then click on Create a New Project. On top here, select C#, Windows, Desktop, and then scroll down and look for Windows Forms App.NET Framework. Select it and then click on Next. In here, give it a name, call it 02 multi-rat. And then here, click on the three dots and navigate to the folder called Rat Projects over here and select this folder. Click on the button Select Folder. Make sure your settings are as follows and then click on the Create button. We are going to make this an invisible rat. So the first thing we need to do is to set the opacity of the form to 0. First select on the form and then come to the Properties windows, scroll down until you see opacity. And then set the opacity to 0% and hit enter. Next we need to create a form shown event handler. So click on this button here with the lightning icon which shows event and then select the shown event and double click on it to open the code view. Visual Studio has created a method called form1shown and inserted it here for you. So you can go and download this file from the resource section. So we are going to copy the form1 class, copy the class, everything that's inside the namespace until here, from here to here. So right click and copy, and then when you come back here you select all this until here, delete, and then paste the copied code into here. Now we need to fix the imports. So come back here, go to the top, select all the imports from here, copy and then paste it in here, delete this and paste all the imports. That's it. So now you have got your new code already done. I'm going to explain how it works. So what we have done here is almost the same as the previous one. We have this .hide, which purpose is to hide the rat from the taskbar and the task manager. And then we create a listener at this port 4444 using any IP address available that is bound to this machine. And then we save the listener to an object called TCP listener, which we declared here. So we declared it here because we want these objects to be global scope, meaning that it can be viewed from any method inside this class. Previously, our TCP listener was inside form1shown function, but now we moved it outside so that it can be viewed from other functions. And then over here we will start the listener using the start method, and now we have a new user defined method called runServer. RunServer is declared over here. Notice that the signature is private void. Private because we only want this method to be visible from within this class and not from externally. Void because there's nothing that is being returned by this function. So inside this run server, we put our usual code for creating a socket. So we call TCP listener.accept socket and return the socket to this object which we declared up here, just like in the previous lesson. The only difference is the socket is declared now outside of the function form shown. It is declared up here, but it is initialized inside run server. Next is we will create a network stream and then pass the socket for client as a parameter for the network stream and then return it to the network stream object which we declared up here. And then we create a stream reader and then assign it to this object called stream reader, which we also declared up here. Then we come to a new part which you have not seen before, a try catch block. A try catch block is to handle events to handle exceptions or errors which is thrown by the program, so that the program will not crash. So the purpose of putting a try catch is to make sure that the program can exit gracefully rather than crashing suddenly and then giving a bad experience. So whatever you want to try, you put it in the block here, and if anything bad should happen, it will be caught in this second block called the catch block. And once the catch block catches all the errors that can happen in the try block, you can then deal with it down here. And the parameter that the catch will receive is called the exception object. The exception object will contain all the details about any kind of error that can happen, any kind of exception. Exceptions are errors. So, and you can deal with the error in any way you want, but in this case we are not going to make use of this object, but we want to use this catch method to shut down the program. So let's see how it works. Inside the try here, we declare a new string called line. The line is used to store the message which the client sends to the server. And then inside here, we have the while loop. So this is how we create a message loop, as you have seen in our earlier design. We put an infinite loop by passing the true parameter to the while loop, so that makes it run perpetually. And then the loop will only quit when we reach this line. If the message that is received from the client is Q, then we create an exception which should be caught by the catch block here. So once you throw a new exception, it will be caught here, and then you will close everything. Stream reader, network stream, socket, client close, and then you exit this program gracefully. And this also will happen, an exception will also happen if the telnet client suddenly disconnects. So we use this catch block in an ingenious way for two reasons. First reason is we want to quit when the user sends the queue message. So when the user sends queue message, we create an exception artificially so that it will be caught here. The second reason is if the client suddenly disconnects, could be a network outage or whatever. If the client suddenly disconnects, it will also create an exception which should be caught here, and then it will also gracefully close. And then while this loop is perpetually running, the message it can receive is M, B, and Q. M is to display a hello world. So if the client were to send the message M, then you will show a message box hello world on the server side. If the client were to send the message B, then you will beep. So you use this function called console.beep. The first parameter of beep is the frequency. As you can see, when I hover my cursor over the function, you will be able to see the parameter for beep. The first parameter is the frequency. Frequency is the pitch, how high or how low is the tone that you want to generate. And the second parameter is the duration, which is how long do you want it to play. So the duration is in milliseconds. So in here, first parameter, I put 500 to indicate that I want to play this at a frequency of 500, which is in the intermediate range, not too high, not too low. And the second parameter, I use 2000 milliseconds, which means I want to play this beeping sound for 2000 milliseconds, which is actually 2 seconds. So when this thing runs, it will run perpetually and continue to receive the M and B message and show the whatever message that you specify here, hello world. And if you receive B, it will play a beeping sound, and if you receive Q, it will quit. So this is how the program works. So in the next video, we are going to run this, we are going to build this and run it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.